What is going on, everyone? It's Super here, and welcome to another MK video. Oh man, and today we got a topic. It's pretty much my response to the questions that I've been getting asked, saying, Super, what is your number one thing? Number one, okay, above everything else that you want to see in MK11. Is it Aaron Black? No, but Aaron Black is very, very close. Is it the robots? No, but the robots are up there. At least Sector and Cyrax. Smoke, really important as well, don't get me wrong. Cyber Sub, I love this character. I want all of them in, but they're not at the tippity top of my list of things that I want for MK11. By the way, this Jax gameplay in the back, I don't remember when this was from, but I love me some old man Jax. I love it. Super, do you want a huge roster in Mortal Kombat 11? More than, I think, 32 characters that were in MKX. Yeah, I do want a lot of characters. It's not at the top of my list. But the number one thing that's at the top of my list that I'm sure is at, if not the number one thing for you, in the top three, it should be number one on everyone's list, because I think this was the absolute biggest reason why MKX was so entertaining, so successful, so much fun to play, so much fun to watch, and that is the rework of brutalities. Brutalities are the absolutes. Damn, that guy just uppercutted me on the chin, and I'm pretty sure that I got pissed after that. It was a straight up uppercut. I keep getting uppercutted. I can tell that I'm getting frustrated here. I'm playing with no variation Jax, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Probably a no variation challenge. But the brutalities are the absolute number one thing that have to make a return to MK11. If they don't come back in the way that they were performed in MKX, I really think that's going to be a huge step down already. It's going to be like starting off a race with, like one leg tied behind. I don't think that works. Okay, it's going to be like playing basketball with one arm tied behind your back. Let's just give that analogy. Like, you're gonna go off, start the match, tip off time, baby, the center going in the middle, tipping it to you, and you have one hand tied behind your back. That's how MK11 is gonna feel if there are no brutalities like they were in MKX, because MKX introduced and reworked brutalities. Because if you guys don't remember, brutalities in MK Trilogy, which were the last, I believe the first, I don't remember if they were in UMK3. I don't think they were. Maybe if it was like a modded version or something, but I'm pretty sure MK Trilogy was the only other MK game that had straight up brutalities. And the brutalities in MK Trilogy were very, very different. And I'll admit, I was one of those people when I first heard that we were gonna get brutalities. I was like, wow, that's awesome. And then I saw the kind of brutalities that they were, and I'm pretty sure that they showed like something very early, something that wasn't as hype as, let's just say, a Leatherface brutality, right? Maybe it's something really simple. And I was like, man, I don't know if I like this, because brutalities gave you something extra to do after you finish the match, because you had to press a series of like 9 different buttons, or in some cases like 12 for like characters like Kung Lao. And that was like the old school brutalities that I knew of playing MK Trilogy. And when I saw the redesign, I wasn't feeling it. But man, when the game came out, people would literally just, we all had weeks to months just doing different brutalities in matches. Like, obviously we could see how they look, but actually performing them in matches, I think there's some brutalities that I still have not actually gotten on a person to this day. Reptile has one, the one where you where you finish the match with back one, which is his tongue move. Is it back one? Back two, maybe? Well, his tongue move. Like, you slap the opponent with your tongue, and that's the brutality. I still have not gotten that brutality as of yet, versus a human being. So the fact that you have so many different brutalities that characters have, this was the biggest improvement and redesign of anything I think that Mortal Kombat has ever done. That's how important it is, because let's be honest, when you have something like a crazy comeback, which I'm going to show you guys right now, my favorite comeback, and I think the best comeback that I've ever had, it's one thing to come back from, 80% deficit or whatever, however much you're coming back from, but to end it with the brutality, it's just a cherry on top of the cake. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's the drop of the mic. You don't need to say anything as like a commentator, as a content creator. All you have to do is do the brutality, and that's it. And people will understand that this was like a special moment. So enjoy this comeback, and then I'll be right back.
Ow! I can't see him, guys. I can't see him. Freeze him! Fuck! Oh my god. Oh shit. I didn't mean to teabag. Oh! God damn! So as you guys see, it just heightens the hype. You know what I mean? In other fighting games, for example, it's not only Injustice 2, it's like every other fighting game. Like, you could have something that's really hype, but if you don't end it in... It's not a if you don't end it. Let's just say it enhances the moment if you end it in something that's like absolutely amazing. Like a awesome surfboard brutality where the opponent just shatters after you use him to surf the fucking concrete that's on the ground. I think MKX is one of the best games for that, like to finish off a match. Forget fatalities, we know they're gonna be in there, but I don't see a way that they would leave these kind of brutalities out. I haven't even gotten to secret brutalities that aren't even on the moves list, and stage brutalities with Blanche. And not only stage brutalities, but different variation of stage brutalities in which you have to press, different buttons, or you have to hold down or whatever, and have something like Blanche beat the hell out of you and then wipe the blood off her face. It's just on another level of amazing with MKX. And I think, like I said, that's one of the biggest reasons why I think it was such a huge like phenomenon as far as success on Twitch and on YouTube. Like, people wanting to see brutalities, which was something brand new to the Mortal Kombat franchise in this way, because of course they were a thing before, like I mentioned earlier. But the only reason I would see them not bringing it back is if they replace it with something else. But I don't see how they could come up with something that's better than, a brutality, like finishing a game with one of your... It's not even something that is like separate from the game. It's actually something that you really don't have to go out of your way to do, excluding a couple of brutalities. Like, you could just play the game, and most brutalities just finish with your opponent, most brutalities finish with you doing a special move that you would have done in a normal match if you weren't trying to go for a brutality, but it just finishes the match in a brutality. It's just like convenience. So I don't know, the only way that I see them not bringing back is if maybe they can't come up with ideas for brutalities. But I mean, these guys who have worked in NetherRealm, have been coming up with absolutely insane, crazy fatalities since MK1. You know what I mean? So there's no way that these guys who are very creative, and I think they have a team of about like 200 plus staff members, maybe 300. So
they have meetings for it. This has been documented. They've said this in the past. Like Ed Boon has said this, that they have fatality meetings, you know. So I'm pretty sure that they could have a brutality meetings, and people could come up with like 5 brutalities for each character. And maybe they don't go in the variation route. Maybe that'll make, by the way, that's that what you guys are seeing, it's gonna be in a future montage. It's actually a really funny moment. I think I said like flex your muscles, baby, because that Melina player pissed me off because the connection was so bad. That's gonna be in a future montage. But they can have brutality meetings. I'm sure they could come up with a bunch of stuff. And like I was saying, if they don't have the variations where they could have one specific brutality per variation, like the norm in MKX, maybe they could just have, instead of having like 5 brutalities, they could have like 3 brutalities. Like they don't have to have like a ton of brutality, even though the more the better, right? But I think if you ask me, and this should be the answer for everyone, I think, even if you have a favorite character that you just can't live without, you can look past the fact that if we don't have brutalities in MK11, it's gonna be already a lesser experience than MKX. I'm coming out and saying it right now. If there are no brutalities in MK11, it's off to a bad start already. And I think it might be a better game, but it would not be a more entertaining game. And it would already be, you know, down 20 points at the start of the match, or at the start of a basketball game or something like that. It would have a huge handicap. Like there's no way that an MK11 without brutalities would be more entertaining than MKX. It's just my personal opinion, and I think they have to bring it back. And I think with the response that the fans gave NetherRealm, the huge positive response, and they continuously brought in secret brutalities when MKXL was announced. They added a bunch of new brutalities for secret brutalities for like DLC characters and stuff. There's no way that they can't bring it back. And to me, and it should be everyone's answer, I implore you to make it your #1 answer. It should be literally everyone's answer of what's the most important thing that has to come back in MK11. It has to be the brutalities, because they were the #1 thing that I think contributed to the amazing success, hype levels of MKX. And to this day, I still get hype whenever I get a brutality that ends a match, or I just get, it ends a match in like a comeback brutality ender, or I just get a regular brutality. It's awesome. Like there's times where I get brutalities that I haven't done in a while, and I'm like, oh my god, this brutality looks amazing. So that's gonna be the end of today's video, guys. It should be all of our answers. What is the #1 thing that has to make it into MK11 returning from MKX? #1 answer for everyone should be brutalities. They have to come back. So that is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys subscribed if you are not already. Also, check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.